Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879 in Germany to a middle-class family of Jewish origin. From a very young age, he made his family very worried because he suffered from mental retardation. When he was 3 years old, he began to speak his first voice. Middle school for him was very restrictive because the school discipline was strict. The teachers were domineering and sometimes violent, while he had a great curiosity about everything around him and often asked questions which are very twisted and that no professor could answer. That's why he is considered incompetent, eccentric, and has no friends. But actually, he was not stupid, but was excellent that he mastered physics at the university level when he was less than 11 years old. And he's also mastered differential operations when he was less than 15 years old. At the end of high school, after falling to argue with the Board of Education about teaching mechanically, he dropped out, applied for a certificate of mental illness, and used the excuse to go to Italy with his family. At the age of 16, he took the university entrance exam in Switzerland but failed. Why did a genius like him fail university? It turned out that he got the maximum score in physics and math, but the score of other subjects were below average. After graduating from college, he married a woman he loved for 4 years in college to have a small family with 2 boys. In his spare time, he has buried his head in his passion for physics. In June 1905, after 5 years of research, Einstein submitted his research paper to a scientific journal. The editor himself didn't expect that the products of a young man that year would be a historic milestone for the whole world of physics. And that study is the theory of relativity. Einstein's name immediately spread everywhere. University competed to invite him to become a professor to step up to the highest position. But he still earned a humble income. Therefore, although his income was better, he was still poor. His career went up, but his marriage went down. In 1913, he separated from his wife, returned to Germany to live alone and become the youngest member of the Berlin Academy. Since then, he began to know his cousin Elsa. In 1919, after divorcing his wife, Einstein quickly married this cousin and lived a relatively happy life. It's interesting that there were many German scientists who hate him because he is a Jew, so they called his theory of relativity a hoax. Even worse, while he was on a visit to America, Hitler came to power. In 1933, Hitler ordered someone to confiscate Einstein's assets and clean up all his documents. There was even a bounty for his head for 20,000 marks. The situation was so scary that Einstein applied for permanent residence in the US and officially became an American citizen in 1940. On the verge of World War II, fearing that Germany's nuclear weapons research could create disaster for the whole world, and wishing to end the war, he warned the US president and advised that America should be one step ahead to stop Germany, and that is the beginning of the development of nuclear weapons in the US. But he didn't expect that, whether it was America or Germany, they were all equally cruel. In 1945, the US dropped 2 nuclear bombs on Japan, killing 140,000 people. This made Einstein sink into deep resentment and tormented for the rest of his life. Einstein died in 1955 of a ruptured aorta. Unfortunately, he was able to get treatment, but he refused by saying that he had done his duty and wanted to die peacefully. His funeral were held very simply according to his wish. However, His brain alone was stolen by the medical examiner and divided into 240 pieces for study. In addition, Einstein also had a sense of humor. When someone complained to him about how difficult relativity theory was, he immediately said, "There is nothing difficult to understand. For example, when you sit next to your lover, you will find that an hour is as short as a minute. But if you sit on a fire, 1 minute is as long as 1 hour. Besides, he's also a very good philosopher. His philosophical submissions were kept in the US without being made public because the content was so ahead of its time. In the end, it can be said that Einstein left behind a huge treasure of knowledge and extremely profound and funny quotes. That's all about Albert Einstein in the video today. Goodbye and see you next time.